Hey, what's up gamers? And, well, before I get to the game review, happy 2015, which in other words means Happy New Year's. Yeah, it's 2015, and I don't see the damn hoverboards or hover cars or power lace shoes. Where the hell are they? Well, anyway, before I get carried away, on to the game review. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about the newest game that came out, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, and which also came out right after the 3DS version, which bears a lot of similarities, but obviously this version is superior, which is the main game that I'm going to be talking about. Before I get to it, let's talk about the previous history of the franchise in brief portions. Starting with the first game on N64, which is entitled Super Smash Bros. Yeah, it laid the ground pretty well, and in case those of you who are not familiar with the gameplay, it is probably one of the first fighting games which obviously, well, not only didn't have blood and gore, but crossed over with Nintendo franchises. This one obviously started out and laid the ground, and with Nintendo franchises like Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Pokemon, Star Fox, and so forth, Earthbound. Brings all the main characters together, and what do you know, you just beat the shit out of each other. If you saw in the first commercial featuring the song, I forget what it's called exactly, but it was pretty damn hilarious. And most of it is typical cartoon violence, as I said, no blood, no gore. Main objective is, of course, beat the crap out of them, but mainly to knock them off the platform. And though the opponent wins, or unless you're under time constraint, time limit, or whatever. So that's the main part of the game. You pick up various items, weapons, and use them against your opponent. There's different platforms like the Mario Castle, the Zelda Castle or Temple, Pokemon Stadium, Earthbound stage, and so forth. So the first game obviously had only Nintendo mascots, as I said, like Donkey Kong, Mario, Zelda, and so forth, and Star Fox. So yeah, it laid the ground very well. It's obviously not the best in the franchise, but back then it was really good for its time, and it was really addictive, though it only had basically single player and different challenges for each player, and of course it wasn't as much fun single player as it was with multiplayer playing with friends, but of course you obviously want to play the single player to unlock different characters and stages and such. So unlocking the first couple of them was pretty easy. After a while it got really tricky, but it was really still a fun game, and if you're interested in checking it out, it's good for its time when it first came out, but for nowadays it's not as impressive as when it, compared to the stuff that we have now. But if you're fascinated and still curious to see what it's like, you can download it on Wii Virtual Console. It is available. I'm not sure, obviously, since they took down the multiplayer online mode for Nintendo Wii and original DS, if it's still available. I'm not sure if they're going to do the same thing with Nintendo Wii U Virtual Console, but it's still a fun game. I still have it, and I play it occasionally, though. But obviously, that is until the sequel for Nintendo GameCube. This was the main reason that I had to own a GameCube, and obviously I don't have it anymore, but you can still play it on the original Nintendo Wii since it's backwards compatible with GameCube games. Super Smash Bros. Melee. Yeah, in other words, if you never owned Super Smash Bros. Melee, you've never owned a GameCube. This game is a true sequel to the N64 game. More characters, even though they're still, again, just Nintendo mascots, no third-party support put into this one, but they're getting there, and they definitely improved on the last one by far. Adventure mode, short but still fun, more stages, more characters. Can I say, the music was great, it was just awesome. So, and, of course you got the classic mode in the first game as well, and you fight this big hand thing at the end of classic mode, which is not adventure. And I always thought it was the Floor Master thing from Legend of Zelda, that most annoying enemy that I absolutely hate because it drags your ass back to the beginning of the dungeon half the times. But no, it's called the Master Hand. I don't know why, I confuse it. I'm sure anybody does. But great game. It's definitely worth it if you own a GameCube or own a Nintendo Wii. It's definitely still worth checking out. Even though the next and most anticipated game for Nintendo Wii, as soon as that console came out, was Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I already reviewed this one, and it was fantastic, but I don't know why I still gravitate more towards this one than this one. Not to insult this one. This one also had an adventure mode. In fact, it had an even longer adventure mode called Embassy Mode, which was long, and maybe a little too long at some spots. It could have been cut down in some spots. I mean, it had awesome cutscenes, and for the first time, it actually brought third-party support in this game, aside from newcomers on, with Nintendo franchises like Kid Icarus. Yeah, he was pretty much shoved in and forgotten about after all these years. And of course, he got his own game again on the Nintendo 3DS. Let's hope he gets another one, maybe in the Wii U or something. But yeah, they brought third-party support in, like Snake from Metal Gear Solid and Sonic from the Sonic series. Yeah, from Sega. And that's something. So, and I only scratched the surface right there with third-party support, but it was still a fun game. Not to mention, it was the first to have online mode. This and Mario Kart Wii were the only two games I recall, and of course the Guitar Hero franchises on the Nintendo Wii, to have multiplayer online, because the Nintendo Wii and the Wii U, of course, let's face it, they lack online multiplayer. So, but this game definitely did a lot. But now that the Nintendo Wii's original online multiplayer is taken down, well, it still has purpose, but not as much as it used to before, even though it laid the ground with it. But still a fun game. If you're curious to see what else I think about the game, you can check out my review, but I think I said enough about it. On to the newer one. Super Smash Bros. As promised for the Wii U. I already mentioned it in my top 10 best video game list of 2014, and I obviously put it at number 1. I enjoyed the living hell out of this game. It is so much fun. I mean, what more can I say? More third-party support brought in. You have, well, of course, Nintendo mascots, new ones like the Duck Hunt Dog, Little Mac from Punch-Out. Yeah, it's definitely great. The third-party support, you got Pac-Man, which is obviously a Namco character. You got characters, obviously, more Nintendo characters, getting back to that, from Kid Icarus, like Dark Pit and so forth. You got Bowser Jr. and his little cruiser thing, you know, that little clown face thing, whatever the hell it is. Yeah, they brought so many in. They got Mega Man. Yeah, sweet. So, of course, when I first played this game, I wanted to unlock all the characters and stages. You get, as I said, you get the Duck Hunt Dog and so forth, and you get Pac-Lands. I don't really remember playing that game too much. And there's so many other mini-games and stuff that'll keep you busy for a long time, even after unlocking all these characters and stages. You get artwork and CD tracks from different games and such, and it is just a love letter for any fan of any of these franchises. It is a great, like, crossover of worlds colliding and characters just to beat the crap out of each other. You got the Mario Galaxy stage. Oh, we got Rosalina, of course, as a playable character, and the Luma, that little star thing. I mean, it is just fan-freaking-tastic. It's awesome. Hopefully they bring more DLC in like they did with Mario Kart 8, and they still have more yet to come with that one, but not to get too carried away. They also use the vinyl figures. I never really got into that, and I was thinking, oh, come on. Are they really doing this the way they're doing this with Skylanders and Disney Infinity? Well, not really. I mean, I'd rather they do it as a DLC thing, you know, in the near future. Hopefully you can download more characters. I'm hoping for maybe more Sonic characters, maybe more Donkey Kong characters. I'm like, enough Mario characters. They've already got so many as it is. Maybe more Zelda characters, like maybe Shadow Link or Vaddie or whatever the hell his name is from that main villain from Zelda. Maybe Sonic characters like maybe Knuckles or Tails. That would be cool. Maybe even Ridley from Metroid should be a playable character. Yeah, you get him in this game, but honestly, I want to be able to play as him. If people say he's too big, come on, they get freaking Bowser in there. He's huge. Ganondorf's huge, but they managed to get them in as playable characters. And of course, what will be Super Smash Bros. On Wii U without its multiplayer? The 3DS one, of course, has it, but this one, obviously, I knew was going to be superior. I mean, let's face it, the hardware capabilities with Nintendo Wii U are way more superior. Not to insult 3DS, but the big stages like the Zelda Temple and so forth, they're obviously done so well in this game, and obviously you can even play it, and of course it has the TV off mode, but most of the time I usually want to play it on my TV. I mean, that is a fascinating feature, but come on, let's face it, nobody wants to play it on their little screen pad thing. It still comes out great, but I still want to play it on my TV. There's different modes of gameplay that you can do online. You can actually, you know, play along with two human players, like if you're in the same room and you want to tag along with two players, you know, on the same console, even though it's compatible with, of course, the Wiimote, or I should say Wiimote Nunchuck. Classic controller, I don't know about this one, but of course there's one for the Wii U. And of course I heard there's also a port thing that you can plug GameCube controllers, and there's obviously new especially made ones for Super Smash Bros. I don't actually have one for the Wii U. That's a good idea, actually. It's pretty cool, considering only one gamepad comes and you can only buy one gamepad for the Wii U. But I still stick to this anyway. Usually I'm trying to get everything unlocked, and I pretty much got mostly everything unlocked. And now that I have them, I set my thorough impression, I got it, and all I can say is, wow, This game is awesome. There's all sorts of missions. There's an adventure. Well, there's not much of an adventure mode in this game. You know, you got the classic mode. Depending on which difficulty you play it on, you either get one master hand at the end or even two to make it harder. As I said, you could choose the difficulty. And, well, as I said, getting back to the multiplayer online, you can either play by yourself with other friends or strangers, play for fun, play for skill, team battle, or even team up, as I said, with a human player that's standing right next to you. Yeah. Isn't that cool? That was one thing that was absent in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I'm finally glad they resolved that problem, and they did the same with Mario Kart 8 on Wii U. But otherwise, great game. Definitely check it out. Aside from Super Mario 3D World and Mario Kart 8 and so forth, this is probably another reason to own a Wii U. I mean, if these games are not enough to get you to own a Wii U, to try to get you to at least try the console, then I don't know what the hell else is going to get you Nintendo fans to even try it. Otherwise, Nintendo, you've simply impressed me again. My final verdict, a Wacom 2 remote with Wii Motion Plus is up. It is that good. So, until next time, happy gaming.